We are live. Welcome, Twitch. Good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. What's up, Dan? How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's been a busy summer. I've been moving around a lot. Everybody's keeping me busy, but it's been a good summer.
Well, that's good. I mean, because I'm surprised you're in the same spot that I saw you in last time we were on the show. So yeah,
Yes, I am
glad to
not.
see you.
I am not doing this one from the road. Next one, expect I probably am on the road. But
All right then.
yeah. So we've
Something to
got
look forward
a
to.
packed show. So I think we will jump through our lighthearted banter, and
Yes.
get right to the show.
Let's get it.
Uh,
All right. Well, Dan,
thanks
what
for
would you like to
being
tell the folks? Let's get that housekeeping out of the way first.
Yes, the housekeeping. All right. So love your feedback. Okay. So if you have a question, okay, drop the question in chat using !ask. This just helps the folks see and note it. Or the Twitch Ask emote. Okay. I actually did not know we had a Twitch Ask emote. But this new extension is your best route to getting your question answered here on Patch Notes. So, Ray, since we're telling them to use the Twitch Ask emote, do we know what the code for the Twitch Ask emote is?
I'm going to ask the folks who are in chat right now, who run in the Twitch account, to put the little lightning bolt in there. There you go. That's what I'm asking for. So
there we go.
You got it.
Okay,
You
good.
see it.
You see
Ray,
the lightning
can you spell
bolt
that out,
there.
please? Okay, chat. You know the drill. All right, good. Thank you.
It is just colon Twitch Ask. All right, it's just colon Twitch Ask. Lots of lightning bolts. All right, good.
Good job, y'all. See, look at you. You're all so good at this. I appreciate y'all. But Dan, you ready to start the show?
Yes, let's get going. So we're going to start, and I'm going to talk a little about drop-ins, Ray. Okay.
All right, let's talk about drop-ins.
For those who didn't know, we launched this Monday, so 2 days ago. So first, what is drop-ins? So drop-ins is a new feature of Stream Together. Okay, and it's important to understand when, as you know, we initially called Stream Together Guest Star. A lot of the interface was designed around bringing the audience up. We got clear feedback that probably the biggest use case is much more facilitating collaboration between streamers. Okay, so that's where we pivoted to Stream Together. And now drop-ins is trying to make this even simpler for impromptu collaboration. And let me start by highlighting why I feel impromptu collaboration is so important. Planning collaboration can be a big a lot of overhead, as we do for this show. You need to coordinate schedules, and a lot of Twitch is you get to go live when you're able to, and then you're looking for stuff to do. So you want to be able to collaborate casually, and you need some ability to just kind of check to see who's up for that. So drop-ins is a feature that allows you to easily knock on someone's door, and then they can let you in if they want to collaborate then. And the way it works is if you're on someone's channel page, or if you're looking at your follow tab on the left-hand side of the Twitch page, you'll see a little icon if they're available for you to knock on their door. Okay, you click that, and then you can go ahead and knock on their door. A little message pops up for them in their chat. Now, it is important to know one thing we have to work on is some of the folks that do not use Twitch chat, because right now it pops up in Twitch chat. So, which a lot of people use, but some people do use third parties, and we're working to make sure they get that notification. And then if they decide to let you in, click, and now a Stream Together audio link is working. It's going through desktop audio. So we've designed this so that hopefully you just click and you have audio right away, because one of the biggest problems is you're trying to collaborate, and if you don't have audio, then you're talking to your stream, they're talking to their stream, you're trying to get it to work, you're sticking in chat, it's kind of a pain. So it's using desktop audio, and the idea is the audio will just work very simply. As long as you have set up your OBS previously, then all you have to do is switch over to get video, is change your scene. But we've also simplified it in terms of the OBS setup, so that way, if you haven't ever done a Stream Together stream, it's still fairly easy to impromptu, and we'll give you directions how to quickly set up OBS so that way you get video along with audio. Okay?
Got it. So
Makes
Dan,
sense,
I got a
right?
question for you though. Yeah, I got a question for you though. So, all right, I get the technical aspect, how it works. So, I mean, I guess I want to kind of jump right into it since we're going straight forward. I've seen some concern about folks, so like how they want to know how they can control who's knocking on their door. Like
Yep.
because think about it, like modern times, I got cameras on my doorbell, so I can see who's knocking on my door. How do I control who's actually coming to my door on Twitch though?
Yeah. So let's be clear on this. Some of this is, a lot of people, the biggest thing we do is, first of all, this is only people that are partners and affiliates and that are streaming while they're doing it. Okay. So remember, anyone's knocking on your door, they are streaming while they are knocking on your door. Okay. Number two, you control who can knock on your door. You can set it to either partners or affiliates. Okay. You can narrow it further to only people you follow or only people that are your favorites. Okay. So you can make it as narrow as you want. Okay. Your favorites is you give a list of who can knock on your door. Follow would be follows plus favorites, partners, and affiliates. For most people, right, the benefit of it having it fairly broad is then it supports kind of serendipitous about people knocking your door. I'll use an example. I'm actually planning next Friday. I'm going to send out links on this where I'm going to have a drop-in day where I'm streaming and I'm going to drop it on streamers and just do stuff with them. Okay. I'm a partner. So if you're allowing partners, I'll be able to knock on your door. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to some notable streamers. I know T-Pain and I have talked about doing this, and Esvon and Wake and I have talked about doing this. We'll go and find some streamers that will partner with me, and then we'll go knock on people's doors of various different sizes. Okay. And so it's important that one thing we need to see is how do people use this. Okay. But so far we have not seen, I understand people may have, what if this is going to happen? Well, right now, I don't think it's going to happen much where people bother you or interrupt you. Anyone that's banned from your channel cannot do it. Okay. People need to be polite. And in general, when you're talking about streamers, okay, they are very conscientious of what they've done. Okay. And they tend not to, harm themselves in terms of reaching out. So, and the importance of this, let me highlight one of the reasons why I think moving in this direction is so important. For smaller streamers in particular, the number one thing I have people ask me about is about growth. Okay. We keep people on your channel page. That's one of Twitch's main strengths. Is people don't spend a lot of time on our discovery surfaces. They spend time on your channel page, and that's what builds a sense of community. What that means is, as we talk about discovery, the best place for discovery is through collaboration. Okay. The other reason collaboration is so important for discovery is finding a streamer you like is more than just seeing a thumbnail of that streamer. Actually, you need to see them over time, and it's best to do it when you're seeing them with somebody else that you already have an affinity with. So it has always been the case that collaboration is the foundation of growth on Twitch. And so I think it's going to be really important. It also is fun. It's sitting by yourself, streaming for 6 hours, staring at a camera. And I know this from myself
Some people can do that really well, but not so
and
much
some
for
people
other
it gets tiring. Right. And even and they take breaks and they like to chat with someone. I mean, we don't have this stream where I'm sitting here talking by myself. We have you and I chatting back and forth. Okay. If you think of if I had a list of Kai Cenat's top 10 streams, every single one of them would be him collaborating with someone. Literally every single one. Okay. So it is a good way to make interesting and engaging content is to do it collaboratively with someone else. The best example of this, I always say, is GTA Roleplay. GTA Roleplay is actually impromptu, non-planned collaboration. You show up on the NoPixel or one of the servers. There are other people there that are co-creating with you, designed to service the needs of to do something that's fun, that people find entertaining. And so I think it's an important part, and we need to keep making it easy for streamers to do this.
I love it. And you know what, Dan? Just one more thing before we move on. I will say the one thing I love about the concept of knocking, because just because somebody knocks on your door doesn't mean that you have to answer. I mean, they can
Nope.
knock, but I ain't got to open the door, and I love that.
Nope.
That makes me feel like I got some control. You know what I'm saying? So,
And your audience does not know somebody's knocking, so you don't have this issue where it's like you feel social pressure and you're saying, no, I don't want this person, right? Because on your stream, that's for you to decide.
Yeah, it's between me and that person that's knocking that they know I'm not opening the door, that I shut the blind and turn off the lights, but everybody else ain't got to know that. It's fine. It's okay.
All right. Now let's get to some of our other topics. And by the way, I know I see this in chat. We're going to talk some about the mobile app in a little while. So we are going to talk about the mobile app. That's just a little later in the show. All right. With that, we're going to bring on Mike Minton. Mike.
Hey. My man, Mike.
Hey, Mike. Introduce yourself, Mike.
Hey, I'm Mike Minton. Thanks for having me on your show to insert a commercial break in between Stream Together and the mobile app update conversation.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you.
Okay, but Mike, come on. Now you're being a little hard on yourself. Okay. You're here initially not to talk about all the ads that you like to run. Rather, you're here to talk about something that everyone in the community loves, which is, Mike?
Absolutely. Our favorite made-up holiday, SUBtember. It's coming back, and it's almost here.
Okay, well, let's get going. Tell us about it.
Happy to tell you more.
Yes.
All right. Well,
please say more.
Let me be a little more specific. So it will begin this year in August 29th. At 10 a.m. Pacific, to be very specific about it, and it will end on October 1st at 12 a.m. Pacific. And this year is going to be a little bit unique. We'll have 5 full weekends of deals. All month long, your community will save on subs. You can get more of what you already love, like epic moments in chat, being part of your favorite community, and more. So mark your calendars. SUBtember is the best way to show support for the streamers you love.
Oh, okay,
and I did read that off my script, and I'll tell you why, because there's a lot of details in here, and I want to make sure I get these details right, because if I say something wrong here, it has a high blast radius. But normally I don't like reading from the script.
And I'm so glad you're here to be the one to have to field that. So I'm going to ask you a question then. So, Mike, in those 5 weekends that these people have for this amazing opportunity, what kind of deals can chat expect?
Yeah, so you'll have the during the entire SUBtember, you'll have 25% off 1-month subs, 25% off 3-month subs, and 30% off 6-month subs. We also have a 20% off merch discount in the Loot Cave, which is really exciting. Simply add promo code, you don't have to write this down, I'm sure it'll be in a blog post or a tweet, TwitchSub20 to save. And there's even more. So we're bringing something new, actually, not bringing it back to SUBtember, which is bonus bits and bonus gift subs. So,
how do bonus bits work, Mike?
Thanks for being on script, Dan. So bonus bits will happen September 12th at 10 a.m. Pacific to September 17th at 12 a.m. Pacific. And what will happen is Twitch will cheer 10% on top of all 300 plus bit cheers and all power-ups, regardless of what the price is set at. And keep an eye out, because we may even cheer extra bits from time to time.
Okay, all right. I love a little bit of extra, regardless. But you also said something about bonus gift subs. Say more about that. What about those?
Yeah, that sounds fun, doesn't it? So, again, very specific on dates here. September 26th at 10 a.m. Pacific to October 1st at 10 a.m. Pacific. We're capping off September with a bonus gift sub finale. This year, for every 5 gift subs purchased, we'll add 1 bonus gift sub. Be on the lookout, because we'll periodically be giving out additional bonus gift subs.
All right. And how will this affect payouts for streamers?
Yep. During SUBtember, we ensure that the streamer gets their full payout. And that is unique to SUBtember. We'll talk about this a little bit later as well. But we bring on sponsors so that we can ensure that the streamer gets their full payout.
Right.
Wonderful.
Or
I love to hear
to
that.
state it a little differently, as opposed to, because they still get their full payout, and other times it's that we subsidize the discounts, so that in this case, through our sponsorship or just on our own, we underwrite the discounts. Whereas in the rest of the year, oftentimes when we might do a discount or something, it's as with most things, we're doing it together, right? But in this case, we find ways to subsidize it.
Woo.
Um,
And you know what? Speaking of ways to do that, Dan, guess what? Let's give a quick shout out to somebody who's very important to this SUBtember. All right. So let's give a quick shout out to our friend Valorant. Valorant is the official sponsor of SUBtember for 2024. Chad, if you don't know what Valorant is, I'm gonna need to learn up real quick. So Valorant is a 5v5 character-based tactical FPS where creativity is your greatest weapon. That's up here. Now available on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. To also help you guys with some SUBtember stuff, we've put together a very special Creator Camp article to give you some tips and tricks on how to get the most out of this year's big event. So please go and read that when that is live, which is not right now, but it will be soon. Plus, our SUBtember blog and help article are now live with the full schedule with all the stuff that Mike just talked about, so detailed and eloquently, the offer details and more for you to reference throughout the event. So we have plenty of stuff for you to go check out. Go ahead.
And Ray, you may help me with this, because I have never played Valorant, and in the spirit of SUBtember, I am going to need to be doing some Valorant streams. So Ray, maybe we'll do one together where you can coach me some.
Oh, I could coach you to a lot of L's. That's about it.
Mike, are you also, a Valorant player? Mike,
I do not, but I'm familiar with the game. I certainly could play it. I get the general idea.
So, I mean, is this a group project that we're about to do? I mean, because like I said, I'm a Phoenix main. I'm real bad at it, but I love to play it. It's great. So
yeah, no, I want some good players that can actually take care of me. Like, that's what I want.
It could be the two of us, and then we get 3 good people, and then we'll be fine.
Yes, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do.
Is it 4-man teams or 5-man teams? I don't even know what's
5v5 character-based tactical FPS, Mike. Yeah.
All right, I'm looking forward to it.
I want to mention this before I forget. Also, hey y'all, keep an eye out for the Fairy My Mother during SUBtember, because you might see the Fairy My Mother in chat. That's all I'm saying.
Just saying. All right, moving on. So looking forward to SUBtember and the big celebrations. Since our last patch notes, some folks have seen discounts when purchasing gift subs. Why don't you talk about this, Mike?
Yeah, so a few weeks ago, we were kind of wanted to get a big experiment out. And so many viewers saw discounted pricing on 5 or more gift subs on web. It's happened in 40 countries. The percent of discount was about 20%. It varied based on your location. And many viewers were able to take advantage and get a discount on a gift sub bundle.
All right. Well, again, we like some discounts. So, what kind of discounts can these selected viewers expect to have?
Well, as I said, it varied a little bit by country and location, but it was about 20% in most places. And why do we do these things? People wonder, what is going on back there? What are these Twitch leaders thinking? Well, we're trying to maximize streamer revenue. And so we were doing this treatment, basically the straight-through pricing treatment, to see if we could generate more revenue for streamers than the non-discounted treatment. And that is, and what we were doing is, the reason we did it maybe with so many people, our normal experiments are, people don't often see them as much as this one. We were trying to get to results quickly before SUBtember so that we could make a decision on whether we should roll it out to everyone or try something else.
All right. So, and Mike, we've seen some discussion about how the discount is applied for gift bundle experiment. Can you speak more about that?
Yeah, unlike SUBtember, which is unique, and as our policies and monetized streamer agreement and all the official paperwork says, the way that discounts work is we share, the rev share is based on after taking out the discount, cost of sales, and some other things. So the cost of the discount, in this case, is shared with streamers. But again, I keep saying this, our interests are aligned. We do this to maximize streamer revenue. Twitch does not make more money then you, in this case, of like, there's no secret scheme here that somehow we're hoping that you make less money and we make more money, because the way this system works, it's a rev share based system. You make more money, we make more money. That's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, I think that's important. In fact, Mike, as we talk about not just the gift bundle, but the sub price increase, we did a lot of experiments. And in fact, our creators made more money and make more money because of this. And effectively, over the last 12 years, we've effectively had decrease due to inflation. That, in fact, in general, when inflation goes up, then prices often increase. We had not done that. Okay, and so the amount that the relative amount of a Twitch sub has been going down for a long time, and so this is sort of adjusting in response to that. And I can say, Mike, I like the gift bundle because it does address this. The one area where I think there's some improvement, which is trying to keep driving gift subs. But I know we've seen clearly that in terms of recurring subs and overall, you're making more money because of the adjustments we made. And we think gift bundles, again, will actually help you make even more money.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Let me just say a couple words on this. So in general, since we've done the price increases this year, streamers are making more money. That's generally true. Now, every streamer's experience is slightly different. There's different things at play here in terms of your viewership, where they may be from, countries, et cetera, all that great stuff. So there's not a general statement, but because at the Twitch level, we can look across, literally millions of subscriptions, we can see, what the net impact is of the pricing change. Now, there's couple things I see in the community often. So just for clarity, some people have seen their sub counts go down. And it is entirely likely that many people did see sub counts go down, especially if you're using your paid recurring, as well as your gift subs. If you look at the combination of the two, you may have seen a decrease. Now, the important thing is that decrease for most streamers will be less than the percent of increase of income, right? And that's the whole point here. So, and again, to be clear, recurring subscriptions, which we've been very focused on growing that recurring sub base, the Partner Plus program, now the Plus program, we're very focused on recurring subscriptions. For the most part, that base of recurring subscriptions continues to grow, and we haven't seen really any impact from the price change. Gift subs have seen some decreases, and that's where you're seeing your sub count decrease, doing some discounts, some things that we've done. Obviously, we have September coming to ensure that we're continuing to grow gift subs, as Dan said.
All right.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to go. I know we've kind of blurred into the next topic, and so as opposed to staying on script, okay. I think I want to come back to sub pricing, but go ahead and just talk about. I think you've already highlighted this. Overall the community reaction to the gift bundling.
Yeah, gift bundles, in terms of the results of what happened when we gave the bundle discount, it did result in more people buying gift subs. Great news. And streamers making more money on gift subs. So we are rolling that out to all viewers shortly.
Yeah. And so why don't we do this, as opposed to just going through the script here? Let's have Mike summarize the mobile sub price increase, because that relates to a lot of what he've already said about it's just focusing on mobile. So just talk about why that's separate and when that's coming and what controls folks have.
Yeah. So I think we tweeted this morning, so it's out. I've seen a lot of community reaction to it. We did, wave 1, certain set of countries. We did wave 2 now in July, and now mobile will change October 1st. And basically, if you're an existing subscriber, you'll get notified in October, and it'll take effect November 1st. If you're a new subscriber, it'll take effect October 1st. Now, again, sometimes the community reaction, I learn sometimes some things that people have forgotten, that the reason the mobile sub price is higher than a web sub price is because of the cost of payments based on the various, whether it's app stores charge in terms of the cost of the sub. So to ensure that the streamer gets the same amount of money, the mobile sub prices are higher. And that's been true since day one. But now we are catching up. So this basically completes the changes that we announced at the beginning of the year, where in many, many countries, not all, but in many, many countries, the price of a sub will have increased on both web and mobile. And again, mobile is proportional to web, but accommodates for the increased cost due to the App Store charges.
All right. I think that covers the mobile price. Is anything else that you think we need to cover in there, Mike, that you didn't
No,
get
I
to?
think we covered it. I'll be around for Q&A if we missed something or it was confusing.
Okay.
All
great.
right. Well, you heard him, Chad. He'll be here for Q&A. So make sure you have questions if you got them. Put them in there for Mike because he'll be back. Don't worry.
Yeah. Great. And by the way, I see in chat, I will say this, I see in chat some people saying it's higher than Netflix. I don't know where Netflix is $15.49. It's not true what they're saying in terms of in the US. So I'm not sure where they're getting that, but it's not. And again, Mike highlighted that with mobile, that's because of the additional fees, which is different than desktop. So, all right.
Math.
Thanks,
all right,
Mike.
Appreciate you.
See you again.
We'll see you soon.
All right. Now we're going to briefly talk about an experiment we're doing called the Nudges experiment. We're going to do a few touch points here. So last week we rolled out an experiment. It's powered by machine learning that encourages users to pause before they send chat messages that may be potentially harmful. So this is trying to detect those chat messages that we might be going to a moderator to look at. But as opposed to requiring the moderator then to filter it, we just wanted people to, take a moment and think. Because sometimes in the heat of the moment, you get going and you're just like, and then you go, oh, I don't really need to say that. Our goal with this experiment is to help decrease harassment and facilitate more positive interactions. Again, this is an experiment. We don't know if we will launch this.
Right. And we're running this experiment for a few weeks, and we'll have some more to share on this area soon. And I agree. Sometimes it's nice to have a moment of pause between, saying things that you might be heated in the moment, like you said. And then it's like, oh, okay, there's an actual reminder now, which like when people remind me that I accidentally put the panels behind me on backwards, but that's fine. It was an accident.
Yeah. I think this is something happen. Online, often that filter that causes us to reflect on what we're saying doesn't happen as quickly as in person. And there are things that we say online because the person isn't with us that we would never say if we were sitting there with the person. And sometimes it's just breaking that loop. And that's one of the problems with the harassment we see online.
Yes.
All right.
So I'm glad that we're running an experiment. It's a good one. But let's see. So that's nudges. But let's talk about this next topic real quick. So Dan, if you were here last time, which you were, we've been on a break for a while, but you were here last time. If you tuned in the last episode, you may remember that we shared our plans to make a number of updates to clips on Twitch. We started testing an updated clip creation flow on the web with a small group of users earlier this month, and we're excited to share that we'll be rolling this out to everybody later this month, which I'm really happy you can see here on the screen. Dan, what else can you tell them about that flow?
Okay, so you'll see in the updated flow, we'll now auto-generate a portrait version of every clip that you and your viewers create when you clip. So that way, when you create the clip, you create the portrait version at the same time, okay, as opposed to this two-step. So that way, we'll always have a portrait version for every clip, okay, which I think will help a lot in terms of both sharing and the clips editor. I mean, sharing the clips feed. Yeah,
that's going to save me a lot of time, which I appreciate. And so, chat, all you have to do to set this up is you need to go through and set your preference once. And then from that point forward, we'll use that preferred layout for all your future clips that you or your viewers will create. So here's some specific instructions for you. You're going to click Edit Layout when creating a clip to adjust the portrait version. And then, or you go to your clips manager and click the scissor icon next to any existing clip to edit the portrait layout that you have there already. So I'm like, this is great. This is going to save me a ton of time when I'm exporting stuff to like Reels or TikTok. So this is great. I love this.
All right. And so you can adjust your preference at any time, and future portrait clips will default, which is kind of what you just highlighted there. So I think this highlights much of what we're talking about in the clips unification. Okay, but also the channel name OA. Let's get to that.
So, all right, with this update, so the channel name overlay is that the team is actively evaluating the best ways to showcase your Twitch channel name and looking into making it more customizable. As we heard your feedback that streamers were dissatisfied with the inability to move the logo around and resize it in these clips. So they are listening. Again, if you want to go see that, Use a Voice is a place where you can use your voice, get it, play on words, to let us know what you like, what you don't like. And this is where they took that from, I'm sure. So there you go.
Yep. And so we've also launched some improvements to Clips Manager. It allows you to edit your title, trim, and portrait layout of any clip at any time. So one of the problems we've had is you might need to create a new clip if somebody else created a clip and it's not quite the clip that you want, or it doesn't have the title. So this is available to everyone now, and it's continuing to work in improvements to make it easy to scrub through your clips and directly in the Clips Manager. Excellent. All right. So now let's talk about viewer touch points. Okay.
Yes.
So as part of our updates to clips, we're also launching a new clip setting soon. And this allows viewers to share streamers' clip from Twitch directly to their own TikTok, YouTube, or whatever channels. And it's important to note when we started clips, it was in a link sharing world where you shared a link and it was primarily Twitter or Reddit. But now we're in a world where the platforms predominantly, you don't share links. You don't share links on TikTok or Instagram. And actually, even on Twitter has a bias against just sharing a link. They much prefer when you actually put the video in there. And viewer sharing is a huge part of how people get increased attention. So this is where we need to make this change, because ultimately you control who can share. But for most creators, we think it's going to benefit to allow sharing.
Yes. So, and yeah, that's exactly right. So now viewers can share links to your clips. Well, they can share your clips on platforms like Twitter and Discord and Reddit. But we wanted to make sure that it was easier for them to do that. So this is one way that we're making that happen. And yeah, so that, as you can see right there on the screen, boo. Oh my goodness. That's just right. You can click TikTok and you got your TikTok all set up and it goes straight to your TikTok. How about that? Love to see it.
So 80% of clips on Twitch are created by viewers, and 70% they create or shared off Twitch to highlight your best moments. Right now, they can only do links. This new setting allows those viewers to help you reach a broader audience with minimal effort on your part.
All right, and then just one more touch on this real quick, so that way that you know how this works. So if a streamer has the setting turned on, viewers will have the option to post directly to YouTube, TikTok, and all the other places where they currently share stuff already. For example, when they watch a clip on a streamer's channel, if you're online or offline, there's going to be a share button there where you can, when we roll this out, the share button will include TikTok and YouTube. So as you can see right there in the bottom corner, you can click share, and those options will pop up for you.
And to make sure viewers know where to find you, the Twitch channel name is automatically added as a hashtag in the viewer's post when they are using this feature. And if you added your TikTok to your social links on your channel page, we'll automatically tag your TikTok handle in viewers' TikTok posts. Now, this is an important one. We want to make sure streamers have control over this setting. So you will have to manually turn off this setting in your clip settings when we roll it out, and you'll be able to turn it on or off at any time in terms of your clip settings. So this is something where you control what happens. In general, this is just part of a broader effort that we have to make it easier to create clips and then to get you and your community to share clips, both on Twitch and off. And I'll also highlight the other thing that I encourage all of you to be looking at doing, which is sharing more clips in stories, which we'll talk about right now. We're going to talk about stories some. So, Ray, why don't you kick us off into talking about the stories?
Excellent segue, Dan. So, hey, y'all, we launched stories on Twitch last year to give you an easy way to stay on top of mind and deepen your connections with your community directly on Twitch by sharing photos, texts, and or clips that disappeared after 48 hours. Similar to some stuff you already use already know.
Yeah. So stories can be a powerful way to engage your community, but we know that sometimes a photo or text just isn't enough to tell the whole story. We added videos to stories for affiliates and partners to give you ways to create fun content that keeps your viewers coming back. Eligible creators can now take or upload videos of up to 60 seconds, and you can resize those videos add text mentions and emotes on top.
All right. This asset it makes me laugh because it's just a large hand out of nowhere. But look, y'all, video is great for uploading edited portrait clips for viewers who may have missed your recent streams, recording, or you can record some personalized videos with app mentions to shout out new subs or folks who you love, like your moderators. Sharing those clips or reactions to other channels for your viewers to check out, or just check in with an update when you want to let folks know when you're doing something, or like you're at an event, or you're going on a vacation, or you just want to say hey.
All right. And now to make sure no one misses the stories you create, we're making it possible to watch stories on the web. And let me make sure this is caught up. Yep, here we are. We know that many of viewers may not be on mobile, and so now you can reach more of your viewers whenever they spend their time on Twitch.
Oh, that's right. So, with viewers being able to watch stories from your streamers that they follow in the left nav on their following page, and from any streamer's avatar on their channel page. So just click their face, and if they have a story, you'll be able to see their story.
Yep. And so creation for stories is limited to mobile, and we're not planning on changing that in general. People have a mobile device. However, we are emphasizing a lot, as I said, I think for me, one of the best uses of stories is sharing clips. I think it's a great way for your viewers that missed a stream to just quickly catch up on the 3 to 5 interesting things that happened in your stream. I know I always try that when I edit a clip that I share it to my stories. I strongly encourage folks to do that. I think you're already on camera a lot. You're doing a lot on your stream. Find the best 3 to 5 moments and share the stories. And we're going to be working so that you can do that on web, since often you're creating clips on web. So we'll make it so that it's easy to share your clips, just stories on web, but we're not going to be add the video and photo on web. That's always going to be mobile.
That makes sense to me. All right. Well, Dan, you ready to jump on to the next topic here?
Yeah, let's get to the next topic, which is one a lot of y'all have been talking about. Let's bring on Jeremy Forrester, who's our VP of Community Products, and he's joined us to talk about the new mobile app, which I know a lot of y'all have questions about.
Hello.
All right.
Very succinct. Very, very short. I love it.
Jeremy's right.
In a few words.
Hi.
Hello. I'm here. Welcome.
All right. As we talk about some of the changes, I want to start to talk about at a high level and why we redesigned the mobile app. So our mobile app hasn't been meaningfully updated in 5-6 years, something of that order in terms of the experience. The mobile world has changed radically in that time. Now, I realize for many users that use Twitch regularly, you become very conditioned to the experience that you have. Okay, and I think there are a number of areas where we need to make improvements, which Jeremy is going to talk about here, in terms of quickly getting to your follow tabs. Many people expect to open and be able to get to content quickly in mobile, especially as you start talking about casual users. One of the biggest challenges we have for Twitch is we need to be able to keep people that use Twitch on not an everyday basis, but every now and then. And we need to keep people checking in on Twitch and getting to content that they can enjoy. We certainly see this in the data on the mobile app, that in terms of our casual users, that we see them using it more. And this is absolutely the case as you start talking about younger audiences, where they've grown up in a world of Instagram and TikTok and many of these other apps. And our mobile app was basically a port of our desktop app. And so it was not really the way most people expect. I fully appreciate that it's something that people that use Twitch regularly had grown accustomed to and liked the experience. But I think we need to be growing mobile usage. It really is important as we start talking about the changing demographics of our audience, where they spend their time. We need our viewers to have shorter sessions on mobile. And on mobile, people don't use bottom tabs. They like one experience where they can quickly get to follow, they can get to live content, they can get to clips, they can get to stories, all in one experience. That is the way mobile apps are built these days. I think there's some critical areas where we need to improve the experience, which Jeremy is going to talk to. Okay. We see very positive signs with newer viewers already. But now let's jump into Jeremy in terms of we definitely hear you about areas of improvement that we need to work. So, Jeremy, why don't you talk about that some?
Yeah, thank you, Dan. So, yeah, I'm here to talk a little bit about some of the feedback we've been hearing and what are the changes we've been making in response to that feedback. So, I'm going to go back to some of the early testing we did. So when this was just an experiment out to a small percentage of users, one of the things we heard very clearly from people was they didn't like the fact that the app played with volume automatically when they opened it. So one of the biggest changes we made before we rolled this out to everyone was making it so that the feed by default would open up muted, and you can just turn the volume on either by hitting your volume up key or hitting the mute button on the feed itself. And then one of the other biggest changes that we heard during that early testing period was some people didn't like the fact that the feed auto-played, and they didn't want it to autoplay when they opened the app. And so we made some changes so the feed respects the autoplay settings. So you can go into your settings and turn off autoplay within the application, and the feed will not play automatically on open. Both of these things can be adjusted in your settings. I think there's a screenshot showing you where you can find these particular preferences. With our initial launch, one of the things that we heard was around the picture-in-picture player, and also sorting in following. So one of the biggest things we heard was sorting in following and bringing back the ability to sort your follow channels in the follow drawer by concurrent viewers. So we actually rolled that out this week. It should be going out to everyone today, that you'll have the ability to go in and change kind of how we sort the following drawer. So you can either have it sorted by recommendations, or you can have it sorted by highest to lowest by viewers, similar to what we do on the web today. We have also made some improvements on the picture-in-picture experience, what we call the PIP player. We heard feedback from people that they didn't like the fact that the picture-in-picture player would pause when they minimized the stream and it kind of went back to feed. So we've made some fixes and changes so that the picture-in-picture player will take priority there and will continue to play. So if you go into a stream, you minimize it, and you want to see who else is following or browse through the feed, you can do that while the picture-in-picture player still plays with sound, and the feed will be muted in those instances. And if you want to hear both audio, you can go and unmute the feed if you really want to.
Okay. But before we get to some of the performance issues, Jeremy, let's talk for a second. One feature that I'll mention that I think we need to promote more, that's and it actually, because of the way my Android works with a Pixel, it actually doesn't work on my phone, but it works on other phones, which is you can swipe right to open the following drawer. I think a lot of viewers don't realize this. For those of you that are, look, I just want to look at my follow channels, which I fully appreciate. That is absolutely a use case. I want to scan my follow channels, see who's live. As Jeremy already highlighted, we've updated the sorting. We're going to be working on metadata. And to get your followed list, all you need to do is a quick swipe, and now you've got your followed list. So for those users that is how they like to navigate Twitch, it is very easy to get to your list of follow channels, and we're going to be continuing to be working and looking how to improve that and add metadata, so that way you can get the information you need if that's the way you want to interact. So now let's go ahead and talk about performance issues, Jeremy, and what you're doing there.
Yeah, so the team has also been focused on fixing a number of bugs that we've heard from users since the app launched. One of the biggest things that we've heard that we've been working on addressing is we had feedback from reports from people that they were getting sent over to a new stream after they had chosen a stream to watch. So, they'd be watching a stream and then it would randomly redirect them to another application, another stream. This is 100% a bug. We've been working on fixing this. We pushed out a fix last week for what we believe is one of the largest issues of causing this issue. We have heard some reports that this is still occurring, so we're continuing to look at this. Please update your application if you're still seeing this happen. Please let us know. Obviously, this is not intended. We want to make sure that we found all of the ways in which this can occur and fixing all of those issues.
Yeah, and by the way, one thing that I saw in chat is, because I think picture-in-picture solves this problem, the ability, if you're modding a channel, while you're browsing. Now with picture-in-picture, you can be watching a channel and then browsing. And I think fixing that in picture-in-picture makes that back doable. Right. Saw that in chat. All right. Let's see. Where are we now, Ray? Are you the one that's supposed to get to the next one? Oh,
You
no.
know, I'll take it unless you want it.
Yeah, you go. Yeah.
All right. So, Jeremy, I'm sure we've kind of talked about some of the performance stuff, but how is the team tackling the incidents when these issues are reported with the performance of the current app?
I mean, we're looking at all the reports that people send in. We're trying to treat them with urgency. So, like I said, continue reporting issues to us when you see them, and we'll continue fixing them. Outside of that, we've been working on addressing and planning to address some of the more broader feedback we've heard about the following draw and missing features. So, specifically around the following draw, we're working to add more metadata in to your follow channels. What we've heard from users is they miss having titles. So we're working to add back titles, and we're looking at ways in which we can bring back and incorporate thumbnails into that experience, so you can see what people are doing from your followed list. We're also going to make it easier for you to explore your follow channels within the feed. So we'll probably see us run some experiments to allow you to just have a feed of your follow channels. So if you didn't want to see it for a list, you'll be able to swipe through them in the feed format. And one of the last things we're doing with the following drawer is we're going to make some changes so that it's possible for you to open the following drawer with a swipe from theater mode, from the channel page where you're watching a stream. So one of the things we've commonly heard is that a function that they missed was being able to quickly check who else was live while continuing to watch a channel. Now you should be able to do that by, if you're watching the channel, you should be able to just open up the drawer. Well, not now, but once we launch this feature, you should be able to open up the drawer, see who's live, decide if you want to keep watching the current stream or if there's someone, a different channel that you want to watch. So we want to make it easier for you to check out who else is live from the channels you follow while continuing to enjoy the stream you're currently on.
Gotcha.
Right.
Well, in chat, you heard it. Please, if you see something and you're like, hey, this doesn't work the way I think it should work, or something's missing, use a voice. Go and put in user voice so they know that the teams do check these, so that way they can see the things that you guys are expressing as people who are using this app. So please go and use user voice because it helps. It really does. So I can't stress that enough. It's yes,
all right.
I understand that you're passionate, but I want you to go put it in user voice.
Okay, now let's talk about vertical video and the space in the feed, Jeremy.
Yes, so another common piece of feedback is people are just saying, look, there's a lot of empty space in the feed. Wouldn't it make sense to put something there like chat? One of the things that I think we've mentioned in the past is we are working to allow streamers to send us both vertical and landscape video through enhanced broadcasting. And then what we will do on the mobile client is we will provide the best viewing experience for viewers, regardless of what device they're on or what orientation they're on. So within the feeds, they could be watching a portrait version of the live stream, but then if they want to go in and turn their phone over, they can be watching the landscape version of the stream. So that's something we're working on. You'll probably hear us talk more about that later in the year.
Okay. Any other feedback that you didn't get to?
Yeah.
Jeremy?
Last pieces of feedback is what we've heard loud and clear is people miss some of the features that were in the old following tab. Specifically, continue watching and the ability to jump back into the VOD of a live stream you were watching earlier in the day or day beforehand, as well as followed categories. So the team is working on how we can bring those features back into the application, so you'll still have access to, easy access to get to your followed categories and be able to, jump back straight into VODs of live streams that you partially watched.
Yeah. And let me go ahead and this we kind of started with. And actually, somebody said it in chat when they said they talked about the Discord change and how they changed, and there's a lot of pushback. In general, making changes on mobile apps is hard. People are conditioned, even more so when you go a long time without making changes. YouTube changes their mobile app all the time. They've kind of been doing this regularly to keep evolving it. We need to get more mobile usage, and to do that, we need to keep evolving the mobile app in terms of the experience. We need to make it so that it's easy for our hardcore users to quickly find the stuff they want, possibly by just looking at their followed, and that it also really works for casual users that maybe don't have a long list of follow channels and they want to be able to explore Twitch and find content. The reality is, looking at a thumbnail is actually very hard to determine whether or not you like that creator. The thumbnail tells you very little information. Okay, it doesn't work at all in your brain to get a feeling for someone. Just seeing 5 seconds of a streamer tells you so much more. Okay, because you quickly get a sense. We did this experiment on web where we actually had it where you were watching content and we saw positive results for discovery, because the reality is you want to see some content and then you can say next, next, next. And especially when you are a new user, looking at a thumbnail to say, well, I like this streamer is literally almost impossible to figure that out. When you're a hardcore Twitch user, it's a little bit easier. And so we need to make an experience, and that experience needs to be integrated, because the way people use mobile apps today, they don't say, oh, now go to this bottom tab and this bottom tab and this bottom tab. And that's true whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Twitch, whether you're on TikTok, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on any of these services. In general, it's focused on creating an integrated experience. So I know this is challenging, but we're going to keep iterating and improving this experience, because we think it is very important for us to be able to also improve discovery and make it easier to find other stuff. So I appreciate the patience. I appreciate all the feedback. That is, it is greatly appreciated. Oh, I know one thing to highlight here. One thing that we are doing on this is we still are very committed. We are a live streaming platform, and the focus is on having people onto the channel page and the live stream. And so that's one of the metrics we look at. It's one of the metrics we keep having you. The idea is not to keep you in the feed. The idea is get you to a channel that you want to be at and have you stay for a while. All right, Jeremy, anything else?
Nothing else from me other than to say continue to share feedback in user voice. We do read it. I know there's lots of memes saying we don't read it, but we do take a look of it. We do read all of it. And yeah, I'll be around if there are questions that come up in Q&A.
All right. Yeah. Well, you heard him, chat. He'll be here for Q&A. So, Jeremy, thank you so much. We'll see you in the Q&A section.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And by the way, Brad, I saw this one chat. Were any users consulted in this? And the answer was a lot of users were. And in fact, I showed it to a ton of streamers in advance, and showed it on stream to many streamers in advance. When I showed it to many of the streamers, they were enthusiastic about it. I think the challenge is you can look at it at a high level, but then the devil's in the details of getting all the small things right. And another area that we need to keep working on that we didn't talk about is improving ranking. I think that is difficult to do when you don't have the app. So we still have a lot of work to do to improve the ranking of the feed, and we're going to keep working at it. All right. I think now we're bringing on Trevor. Trevor's our Senior Product Manager of Safety Products. Welcome, Trevor.
Fan favorite, one of my favorites. Welcome back, Trevor.
Thank you, Ray. Happy to be back.
All right. Well, Trevor, let's get started, because I need to continue to push my agenda that, we are in on this together, right? So, hey, as a streamer sometimes, I'm always thinking about moderation, and please, for the love of everything, don't tell my moderators this, but I'm always thinking about my mods and how they do things. So are there any updates to moderation tools that you can share today, Trevor?
Yeah, I got kind of a laundry list this time. We've had, over the past month and a half or so, we had 5 different small to medium launches that I wanted to, for some of them, I'll be reminding people, or maybe you heard about it, but you haven't seen the product yet. And for a couple of them, they're a little bit more recent. So I'm just going to jump in. The first one that we had was an update to Automod. We introduced a new topic. First time we've done this in a while. And this new topic catches sexually harassing language. This topic has been enabled by default for users who have Automod on at level 2 or above. When I say that, I'm talking about that little purple slider that you see there. But as with any Automod topic, if you find that this is not catching enough messages, catching too many messages, whatever it might be for your stream, you can customize it to turn it off, to turn it up, whatever you might need. And moving right along, the second update that I've got was very highly requested. We rolled out Mod View on iOS earlier this year, and immediately people were people were telling us that what they really needed here that we hadn't included was support for some of these channel points related features. And so with this update, which is out now on iOS, we added in a predictions widget where you can run predictions from that. We added in the reward request queue widget where you can go through and you can mark if the streamer has completed a reward, or you can refund points if the streamer doesn't want to act on a particular reward. And then the last thing that we did to kind of round out the channel points theme was we also added in a quick action on mobile that lets you run polls. And so these were all things that people were telling us they really wanted to be able to do on mobile, and now you can. Moving right along, the third one that we got, this one is an expansion of AutoMod's smart detection. So smart detection is a machine learning model that we've augmented AutoMod with that attempts to look at what messages mods from your channel specifically have taken action on in the past and hold similar messages to those messages. And as your mods take more actions, it gets better at doing that. And this has been English only it's been out for about a year, and it's been only available to English language channels. But with this update, which also is now live, I think we might still be in the process of rolling this out, so maybe not fully reached everybody. But if it hasn't fully reached everybody, it will soon. This update makes smart detection available to a whole bunch of other languages. There's a list of 13 that you can read off there. And we'll probably be looking into expanding it further because this so far has been very successful for us, and smart detection seems to be working well for most streamers that are using it.
Now I'm going to jump in real quick and say, Trevor, first of all, I really appreciate you, being aware how, of course, we're a multi-language platform, and how important, and being clear when something's in English and when we're extending it. Now, I'm also going to give you a hard time, though, because we also are multi-platform platform. So you talked about these great features for iOS, and you said they're on mobile, but I think you meant they're on iOS. And so the question, so we said mobile, we meant iOS. And so why don't you I know it's something that is in chat a lot, talk about Android and the mod view.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very sympathetic to Android users who want to see some of the features that we've brought to iOS also on Android. My team is beginning to catch up a little bit on Android. It just kind of happened to be the case that it was easier for us to ramp up on iOS first, and so that was where we started. It's been a good proof of concept. I think that we've learned some things that will make the Android development easier also. And 100%, 120%, we are planning to bring all the features that I've been talking about from the iOS side over to Android as well. Some of that is already in the works, and hopefully I'll be back on patch notes before too long to talk about that part. Yeah, Trevor highlighted something that's important that a lot of folks don't understand, that as you're doing development and you're trying to iterate, it's actually quite hard to do it simultaneous with two platforms. In fact, actually, it slows down sometimes the development. So I'm an Android user, so I am, I miss it and want it. But I think we've been making a ton of progress in terms of this. And I think it's probably we've been able to move faster because we weren't dealing with two separate teams going in different directions. And so I'm excited that we'll get it on Android. And we hear everyone's feedback there. And I'm also one of the people giving that feedback. So, all right. With that, I think we have, is there anything we did not cover? I got two more quick hits in here. I'll keep them quick.
Let's get them.
We've got a long show today. This one, very small.
It's a long one.
We could have done it years ago, but this one, sneaking this in here while we're doing all this other stuff, you can test your AutoMod settings now if you go to your AutoMod settings page for the channel that you're interested in, and it lets you check if a sample message that you're curious about would be held at the current level of AutoMod that you have set up. It will also check against smart detection if you want to get a sense for what that's going to be doing. This is something genuinely I think we've been thinking about adding in for a while, and it just happened to be the right time, so we threw it on the pile. And last but not least, then I'm out of here. We're expanding our suspicious users controls to add in a new machine learning model, which is going to be catching some more users. And so some of you might be familiar with this product for the ban evasion detection model that we've been running for a while here that looks to flag potential ban evaders to your moderators. And the new model that we're adding on here looks more broadly beyond just band invaders to, in general, what I would describe as users who have kind of the same behavior profile to other users who have recently showed up to Twitch and with the intention of behaving badly and then immediately gotten banned from chat or immediately suspended for harassing the streamer. And so this is a new machine learning model that we've started rolling out to 10% of channels so far. We're going to see how it's doing, and then if it's behaving well for people, then we're going to make it available to everybody, also hopefully in about a month's time. And that's it for me.
Those are all fantastic updates. As usual, Trevor, thank you very, very much. I will continue to slide you my list of requests. And in addition to the Android users, I mean, that's fine as well. That's fine. I get it. But thank you so much for sharing those with us. And like you said, this is a long show, but chat, we're almost through. So Trevor, thank you so much. Chat, if you have questions for Trevor, you know what to do. Put them in chat and we'll get to them in the Q&A session. So Trevor, we'll see you soon. Uh-oh, they're going to get mad because y'all didn't let Trevor say bye. Uh-oh, but that's okay. Not my fault. All right. So moving right along. Dan, we've made it to our final guest for today. So chat, please help me in welcoming the final member of today's patch notes, the product team, and a member of the product team who oversees the development of our ad products. Please welcome Nocto. Noc, welcome back to the show.
Hi, everyone. Very happy to be the last guest today, and I'm happy to be here, to be back and talk about Ads Manager.
All right, great. And in fact, we adjusted this from the script for everyone because we knew we had a kind of packed show. So, Noc, why don't you just give us the update for people that are unfamiliar with Ads Manager, right? And then go ahead and share what you think is the main things they need to know about some of the changes we're rolling out.
Yeah, so just a little context about Ads Manager. It is our key main ad scheduling tool. It is available today to all partners and affiliates on Twitch. We launched it all the way back in 2021, but today we have 45% of streamers on Twitch are using Ads Manager. And I'm here today to talk about the new version of Ads Manager with all the updates that we make to simplify the ad running experience for streamers on Twitch.
All right. Well, I'm happy that you're here to talk about this because this is something I'm glad that we talk about. So we've gotten feedback on how Ads Manager could be confusing with some different programs, and it's feeling a little overwhelming with its many features. How is Twitch working to improve this user experience for folks who feel that way?
Yes, so we've heard all the feedback from the community and wanted to revisit the way streamers get started and interact with Ads Manager. So this time, we are not adding more features. We are launching a new version of Ads Manager to make everything simpler and to save streamers time in setting up the ads on their channel so that they can really focus on the content and community.
Great. And so talk about some of the changes you're excited about, Noc.
Yeah, so the biggest change is that we are giving Ads Manager a totally new look. So we are simplifying the user interface of Ads Manager. We are bringing all the key features of the product forward in one single page for easier navigation and setup. And these changes are just in time for the end of the year when advertisers usually increase their ad budget. And we want to make it easier for streamers to start running ads or increase their ad minutes and potentially earn more revenue in Q4. So with the new Ads Manager, this new ad density slider, this makes it a lot easier for streamers to decide and select how many minutes of ads they want to run per hour. And streamers can also review important information as they adjust the slider. They can see the ad revenue share for each ad density option. And for partners, they can see the estimated ad revenues of the month. And we are moving some features to the advanced setting page. So streamers who want to have more control and are an advanced Ads Manager user can go there and find all those features. And again, all of the current ad benefits and the ad revenue share will stay the same with this update.
It's good to know. All right. Well, with all that and what's happening here, what changes are you hoping to make in the future that we could share with some folks here?
Yeah, so we will continue to improve the ad running experience on Twitch. But in the near future, we want to add relevant insights to ads managers so that we can help streamers make more informed decisions when considering running ads or increasing the ad minute. So for example, we will share more details about the seasonality of the ad industry in the Q4 and also information about ad running behavior of streamers similar to them.
Great. All right. That is then in terms of launch. When are you expecting the launch, Anak?
Yes, the new Ads Manager will launch very soon in early September. So please check out the new Ads Manager page in September to run ads and run more ads and get ad revenue. And again, like many guests today have mentioned, we want to hear that what the community thinks. So please keep sending us feedback on user voice.
All right. Great.
Excellent. Nog, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being the last person on Patch Notes. You were a trooper for waiting this long. So, but up next, we got the Q&A, so stick around because there probably will be some questions for you as well. So thank you so much. But now it's time to move on to the Q&A.
All right. And I've been reading a lot of the questions. There are a lot out there. So let's jump in. We're going to do them by area. Okay. And then we're going to catch some. I'll catch some at the end, but let's bring Mike Minton back first to cover some of the ones that were in some of the things he talked about.
Mike,
all right.
welcome back.
Can't believe questions. Hey.
Okay.
Good to be here.
Can't believe it.
Here we go. From the Party Rocka DJ Kev G. Why the increase in sub prices last month on web went up? I lost 10% of recurring subs and 50% of gifted subs. Now with the next increase on mobile, I can almost that there'll be more. How are you thinking about this?
Yeah, so there's two questions in here. One is, why are you increasing sub prices? And the second is this impacting Plus eligibility? Also an important question to get higher rev shares. So the first part, why did we do it? As we said before, it's to help streamers keep pace with the rising costs of everything. The only thing that hasn't increased in price in the last 11 years has been a Twitch sub. So we increased it this year for the first time ever in order to catch up and, again, help streamers keep pace with earnings. Currency fluctuations another factor in certain markets, but I think the first reason is the most specific reason. Help streamers make more money. And the second part of it is Plus eligibility. And this has been something we've been very sensitive to because we're very excited about the Plus program. We know streamers are really appreciating the opportunity to be able to earn that higher rev share. And we looked, actually just got the data last night, so we're still looking at it to ensure that we're not creating a problem here. We identified about 2 handfuls of streamers. I think it was 12 was the total count that were in a borderline where they might be, the price increase may have impacted their ability to earn Plus, but we're going to double click on it. We'll look and ensure that, because there's other factors that could happen in terms of growth and engagement and community members. So we'll look at it, or we look at this regularly and make sure that we are still having a great opportunity for streamers to get into Plus. So and if you look at putting that in context, when I say 12 streamers, you're looking at thousands on the border of getting Plus eligibility. So it's a relatively small amount. But so broadly speaking, it is not impacting Plus eligibility for the reason I mentioned earlier. Recurring sub counts have been very, very consistent. And so, your experience may be different. Sounds like you've seen a substantial drop off. I will have someone look at your channel specifically because I'd be curious what factors go into that might be different than other channels.
Mm-hmm. All right. So your next question, Mike, is about SUBtember, and it's from It's Beyond, and they ask, the discount in September applies to gift subs also? Question mark.
No, can't speak here. The discount is for the recurring sub. So that's the channel sub that you pay and it recurs every month. The gift mechanic is what I mentioned, where we are going to add gift subs. And that's for the latter part of the September, where you'll get extra gift subs for the same price. So it's a bonus mechanic, not a discount mechanic on the gift subs.
Mm-hmm. And Mike, just for clarity, when you do that, because it's especially given the bundling, people can get confused. So get clarity when you do the bonus. What does that mean in terms of payouts? So give a concrete example.
So, concrete example, if you gift 5 subs, the streamer will get a payout equivalent to 6 subs.
Right. So it's, if you will, just for everyone to understand, it's almost the opposite of what the bundling does. It's in the other direction. Someone gives 5, we will add a 6 sub, and the streamer will get a payout for 6, even though we're only charging for 5, and that will come from Twitch. Okay, which is different from the bundling, which is which is an ongoing standard thing. So I know it's a little confusing, but in this case, we are underwriting this additional sub that the viewer is not paying for.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Cyber Techno. How does Twitch Turbo increase streamer revenue when it undermines our ability to bring those same people as subs?
Yeah, appreciate the question. So we've done quite a bit of research, both user research, talking to people, why they pay, why they channel sub. We've done upsells. We've done prompts during ad breaks to sell channel subs. And the answer is people subscribe to you because they want to be a member of your community. They want to support you, and they want to use your emotes and engage with other members of the community. That's why they subscribe to you. Now, it's a nice benefit that they make it ad-free in your channel, but that's not the primary reason they're subscribing to you. And that is universally true almost in every channel and every pocket of Twitch. Now, people subscribe to Turbo because they really want an ad-free experience across every single moment that they're on Twitch, minus some details around sponsorships and some other cases where they may see a channel skin or something like that. But for the most part, a Turbo subscriber is looking to avoid ads all across Twitch. Now, good news, these Turbo subscribers also tend to buy a lot of channel subs. It does not stop them from buying channel subs. They still support, in many ways, they're our most valuable viewers on Twitch from how many channels they engage with, how many channels they subscribe to. And because they browse so much Twitch and check out so many different channels, Turbo is really, really useful for them to not run into ads anywhere on Twitch. Last thing I'll say real quick is a channel subscriber, when they come to your channel, it often takes months for them to become a channel subscriber. They don't do that on day one, and ad-free is not the reason that they're going to become a channel subscriber. Become a channel subscriber because they want to support you and be a member of your community.
Yeah, it also highlights something that's important to note about Turbo is it facilitates and encourages browsing Twitch more and exposing yourself to more creators, which is good for everyone on Twitch, because then you are looking around as opposed to spending all your time on the handful of channels where you might have a sub. And I think it is good for Twitch as we get users moving around Twitch that use Twitch a lot, being exposed to new creators.
Yeah, and one more quick public service announcement. Oh, by the way, streamers make money from Turbo also. Sometimes that often gets lost in this conversation. So streamers earn Turbo revenue.
Yeah, that's important. In fact, it's a meaningful amount of revenue for many streamers. I know, actually, for me, when I look at my revenue for the small amount I earn, it ends up being, a reasonable portion. It's just a little bit less than whatever might come from ads, and I don't run mid-roll ads, and it's still beneficial. So a lot of streamers are doing well from Turbo. All right, I think we're going to bring Jeremy up now. Thanks, Mike.
Yep. Thanks, Mike. That's all we got for you. You're free. Yep. Thank you. Jeremy's back.
Jeremy, so from Well-Being, will the mobile VOD experience get some love? It fell behind with the new mobile updates, not being able to see VODs on first page and so on.
Oh, Jeremy, you're muted.
Jeremy, you're muted.
In 2024, we can't do that.
Thank you. Yes, I will try and answer these questions quickly because we have a lot to get through. But as I mentioned earlier, we are planning on bringing back the continue watching feature so you can access those VODs. We have also heard some reports of the PIP player not working properly with VODs. We're going to be working on fixing that as well. But outside of those things, we don't have immediate plans to bring more VODs forward. Obviously, we do have the clips feed as part of the feed, which is a way in which you can experience some of the best moments of streams you may have missed.
Gotcha.
Great.
All right. So next one comes from Sin007, and they say, by saying experiment, does that mean random channels will have this feature enabled? And I'm assuming they're talking about whichever experiment we were talking about, because it's all the same.
Which experiment are they talking about?
It may. I may have
explicitly say so.
Yeah, they don't say in the question. It may have been thumbnails in following. In general, when we say experiments, it's either a random set of viewers have an access to a feature in order for us to measure what kind of impact that has, or sometimes it's a random set of channels has access to a feature. If this is specifically about thumbnails in the following drawer, it would be a random set of viewers who use the mobile app would have thumbnails and some would not.
All right. You got another one from Isbjorn, and they ask regarding allowing viewers to post your clips on their social medias. When it launches, will it be on by default, or do I as a streamer have to turn it on or off?
When it launches, it's going to be off. So because we want streamers to have control over this setting, we're going to encourage people to go turn it on when it first launches, but you'll be able to go into your clip setting and just turn it on or turn it off however you want.
All right. Jeremy, will the mobile app ever be able to search for streams by language as it is in the desktop version?
Yes, we're actively working on bringing what we call the multi-language selector in the browse directories in category pages to the mobile application, so you can filter down just for specific languages you want to watch. So yes, we're working on that. I can't tell you exactly when, but it is something we want to bring to mobile.
All right. I think you've read that.
Next question comes from Turtles in Chile. They ask, is there a way to block certain categories?
Yes. So, or there is kind of, if you're on web, you can go and press the 3-dot button next to a category and you can say not interesting or not interested, and you can tell us you're not interested in this particular category, and then we will stop recommending it to you. You can do the same thing in the feeds. So if you come across something in the feeds on the mobile application, you can press a little 3-dot menu and say not interested. In the feed, it'll ask you, are you not interested in this channel or this category? And you actually have the choice to say, I don't want to see any more of this streamer, or I don't want to see streams from this particular category. And then we'll take those preferences into account.
All righty. Great. Let's see. All right. So from Stacked Like Pancakes, can you add thumbnails to the following page so we can see what game they're playing or title of stream, since the game title doesn't give enough information?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, we're definitely bringing titles back to the following drawer, so you can see both the game they're playing and the title of the stream. And as I said, we're looking at ways in which we can bring thumbnails to that experience as well. So stay tuned. That's all in the works.
All right. Next question comes from Shrimpy Me. Why aren't we able to sort live on viewers high/high to low?
We actually rolled this out today. So as of today, if you go and update your mobile application from the App Store, you will be able to go and change the sorting of the follow drawer. You can choose between high to low or recommended, and you can just go and change that. So if you haven't got that yet, please go update your application and you should be able to sort your following list.
Instant gratification.
Right.
Love it.
Agent Dave 7, why are suggested streamers prioritized above streamers I already know?
We try to give priority to streamers in which we think you're going to like the most. That could be followed streamers. It could be a streamer you don't follow, but you watch regularly. But in general, like, we're always working on our algorithm that the point of the feed is to really help you find a channel that you want to join, that you want to go into, you want to participate and chat. And we're going to be constantly iterating and making that better. So, ideally, when you open the feed, we're actually recommending you content which is interesting to you and really relevant to you. It could be someone you follow. It could be someone you don't.
All right.
Okay.
Great.
Well, Jeremy, that was the last one we got for you. So thank you so much. We appreciate you and your time. And we're going to welcome Trevor back on. Trevor, you're back.
Trevor, great. Yeah. By the way, one thing I'll mention, I've been trying to keep up with chat, and that's one reason. This is tricky to be talking, keeping up with chat. I do it on my stream all the time, but it's particularly hard on this one because there are a lot of the chat messages are meaty. So you see me looking, and that's because I'm looking at chat. Anyway, all right, Trevor, welcome back. SMS and BRTHLMW. Smash Bartholomew. I don't know how to pronounce that one. Mod streamer question. Can we make ban, mute, warn, delete buttons slightly larger or far apart? They're so small and close together.
Yeah, it's a good idea. This was one I would suggest you put in user voice so I can gauge how many other people out there want this. But I just thinking about it, those are kind of small buttons. We could probably do a pass on that and try making them larger.
All right. Then Keyturn asks, are Automod and Nudge using the same logic, or do they interpret messages differently?
Yeah, for this one, nudges, Automod does feed into nudges, and so there was something that we wanted to balance with nudges, where we kind of want a little bit more control over which users we're sending the nudge to, and so maybe they've had a few messages that are kind of borderline according to Automod, but then we also wanted to make sure that we nudge them on a message that itself might trip up Automod or that it, like, the message that we show the nudge warning on, like, is a message that they really ought to think twice about. And so Automod is related to nudges. It's helping determine what messages get nudged, but there's a little bit more that we do in there to pick those messages.
All right. Let's see, this is from PHR3D13. Can you get Automod to moderate bots selling followers and viewers?
Yeah, for this one, I talked a little bit about smart detection when I was on earlier, and smart detection is a part of Automod that will definitely do some of this for you, especially if you ban or timeout, probably ban, I guess, a few of these moderation bots. Sorry, not moderation bots. These like follower selling bots. If you have your mods ban a few of them, then smart detection should start picking up on that. There's a message pattern in there that that you don't want in your chat, and so it should help with that. There also are other chat settings that might be able to help with this if you are comfortable using them, such as requiring your chatters to verify or to follow the channel.
Yeah, so one thing to note also, in general, aside from Automod, we are always trying to detect people that are doing things that are in violations of our community guidelines. So in fact, you shouldn't have to set Automod in terms of people that are spamming. And this is an area that we always try to automatically detect or get reports. And so sometimes these things of bots selling followers and viewers actually is not allowed. Of course, that can mean many different things, but so that's more of a automatic detection rather than an Automod feature, because to the extent we can detect it, then we're just going to filter that stuff out of there completely. Right.
Right.
All right.
Well,
I
Trevor,
think that's it. And
please,
now, Trevor, thank you.
Please say goodbye to the people. If they don't let you say bye, they're going to riot. So please say bye, Trevor. I appreciate you.
I appreciate that my many fans in chat apparently were upset about my not getting to say bye. Thank you all. Goodbye.
All right. So now we got Knock back. Knock, welcome back.
Yes. Thank you for having me back.
Knock, thanks for being here. I think we have one question for you. All right. From Violet TV. Do we still get 55% rev share for 3 minute per hour ads? My dashboard now only has 4 minutes per hour as the lowest amount to opt in.
Yes. So as long as you run at least 3 minutes of ads per hour with Ads Manager, you earn 55% net revenue share. That doesn't change with this new update. But I also understand that the current UI of Ads Manager and the Ads Incentive Program can feel confusing about the ad minutes option that you can select. And this is exactly one of the points of confusion we wanted to change with the new Ads Manager. And the new UI will make it very clear and easy for you to select the ad minutes you want and see the revenue share information as well.
All right. Great, Knock. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, now, Dan, one of the great things about having the CEO do this show is that now we got some questions for you. So let's get started. So Zombie Monkey Martin, that's a name, asks, why did you make drop-ins on by default?
Yeah. So first of all, the default setting varies by creator. Okay. An important thing to understand as we try to get things jump started in the ecosystem. that if you keep everything off and then make everyone turn it on, then that's just a matter that folks won't turn it on as quickly. Often most people aren't aware of it. If you're trying to get behavior change, then you don't get any behavior change because people can't just go and drop in on other people. You're trying to encourage people. People have the ability, obviously, to set their favorites list to what they want. We're going to be watching this. We have not seen much use of people since we've greatly narrowed who can do this. And in terms of someone who's already live streaming and they're live with their community while they're doing it. And we, by default, depending upon your size, we default to different settings. So it's not that the scope of who can knock on your door, the default varies by size of streamer. That we feel pretty good, but we're going to be watching this, that the downside is a small downside and we will be able to address it. And part of what we're trying to do is change behavior to get more people collaborating, and that's tricky. As an example, if it was off by default, then and we were waiting to everyone turn it on, then if T-Pain wanted to come by and drop by him, most people he wouldn't be able to drop in on, and so he just wouldn't plan a stream because he would have to contact everyone in advance. And one great way to grow is to also have larger streamers drop in on you. I know I've talked to a number of larger streamers about this can be part of their content, where they drop in on other streamers that are smaller, that are part of their community, that are creating content, spend time with them. So I think this is going to help a lot as we look to drive growth.
All right. Thank you for answering that question. Next question comes from Verified Hero Carry, and they ask, do you have any clarification on the new copyright policy changes for karaoke in categories like Just Dance?
Yeah, we actually don't have new copyright. Thanks for the question. We don't have new policies around copyright policy for changes for karaoke in categories like Just Dance. We do have a new DJ program, okay, which does allow users to opt in to the DJ program, and then they have freedom. Nothing in here is different than the current policy in terms of if music rights holders are see some content that they feel is a concern, as opposed to doing a DMCA takedown, they can notify us. That would cover if, with Just Dance, we do not have a problem. They have not been notifying people that are doing Just Dance. So nothing changes there, and I don't expect anything to change. Similarly with karaoke, we have not had these issues, but rights holders, if you are using their music as a backing track, so nothing changes with respect to Just Dance or karaoke. The change is purely for DJs, where now they have the ability to opt into the DJ program, and this is important. We do have an obligation to make sure that people that are DJing, that they join the program, as opposed to saying, nope, I'm just going to keep DJing and not join the program. That the labels, want us to be working on this. So it's absolutely the case that if you're a DJ and you're playing third-party copyrighted music, then you do need to join the program if you want to keep playing this music. But it does not affect people doing karaoke. Nothing changes with respect to things like karaoke or Just Dance.
All right. Thank you for that answer as well. Next one comes from Machinosaur, and they ask, will we be able to upload our videos to the story, to stories, like other social media platforms?
Yes. You can upload up to 60 seconds if you're eligible to create stories. So that's exactly what we've launched. So that's live today. By the way, it does occur to me, I did see, I'm trying to remember, since we had that one question on DJs, but I don't see any of the other ones in here. Somebody had asked a question about a second account, and let me go ahead and clarify that, because I think they had asked about linking the two accounts. So right now we don't have the ability to, from a viewer perspective, but for those people who don't know, if you DJ every now and then, but DJing isn't your primary thing, then what we encourage you is to have a secondary account that you'll DJ from. That's part of the program. You can go through the customer experience to make sure that if your current account is a partner or affiliate account and you're creating a secondary account, that also will have partner or affiliate status. Okay. And the other thing that you can do that I'll tell you I will be doing, because I have created such an account and at times I will stream from that account, One trick that I know I'll use is I'll actually create a kind of phantom stream together session from my regular account to my DJ account. So that way there's a notification that goes out to everyone when you start streaming on your DJ account. Okay, because it registers your other account as being a guest on your DJ account that uses our notifications, which especially as you're starting, it's kind of important, right? If you're going to be having these two accounts, to make sure that people that know that you're on your DJ account now or on the other account now. And the reason we did it like this is it was too complicated to try to figure out how to divide revenue since subs are over the whole time. And so we needed to just kind of make it clean so that for those people that do both, the money from when they're a DJ, that is shared. The money from when they're not DJing, that is not shared. Okay. All right. So you can go to the next question now. Go to the next question.
All right. Next question comes from Wild Annie. They say, will you be able to pre-approve people so they don't get nudge warnings?
So it's currently possible. It isn't currently possible as part of the experiment. Great suggestion for user voice. It's something we definitely are looking at. We don't know. There's one question about pre-approved people. There's another question about how to detect the people we know are someone that you trust, so maybe don't. So we have a lot to figure out to make warnings, to make sure it's not invasive to people, because the whole point is to try and improve. So we'll definitely keep looking at that.
Gotcha. All right, last question for you and for the Q&A comes from Cricket MC. And they ask, are you going to expand stories so that we can upload custom content and edit clips for stories, not just use existing clips?
Yeah, so that you can upload video, right? So right now, if you edit something off, you can upload video, okay, for stories. So that is effectively custom content that you can share in stories. Okay. We are not like having you upload custom clips, if you will, because the whole idea of a clip in terms of our clip is that it's something derivative from your live stream. Okay. So you can upload videos and stories. And so you can take a clip down, you can edit it with other clips, and use whatever you want for a story, because you can upload video and that video can be whatever you determine it should be. So that's available now.
All right. Well, that is our last question. I appreciate you, Dan. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for asking questions in chat. I mean, there's always so many questions. So I'm sorry we can't get to all of them, but they try. They really do. So thank you very much. I really appreciate y'all. We're going to start rapping. Dan, what you got?
Actually, hold on. Yeah. One thing I'm going to say is for those folks out there, one thing I'm planning on doing is Friday, September 6th, I'm going to do an all-day drop-in stream, and I'm going to go and get various streamers to join me. I'm going to go in different regions, so I'll get some in Europe, some in Australia, some in Spanish, and I'll get some existing streamers to join me, where we go and drop in on streamers of all sizes. I'm going to be sending out stuff to the partner Discord, as well as our Unity Guild Discords, and we'll probably post something in Twitter so that people that would like folks to drop in. And I'll also be doing this in general on a more regular basis, where I take time spending time with different people's communities. It's something that I already do a fair amount of, but I don't have a way to do it in a structured fashion. And so a lot of people often ask me, oh, it'd be great to stream with you sometime. But to be honest, it's difficult to schedule it and plan it. And so now for any of you that is like, oh, I'd like to do something to stream together, and this isn't just to ask Twitch questions, it's just to do fun things and enjoy each other, and so that I get to know your community. So I'll be sending that out and getting people so they can fill it out, and that way I'll have a list so that now I'll just be doing drop-in streams fairly regularly, where I kind of look to see who's live from people who've said, oh, Dan, would love it if you dropped in sometime. And then I'll drop in on them. The other thing that we're probably going to be doing is possibly the following week, we're going to try to get a number of drop-in parties. And this is a concept where, let's say you're trying to do fundraising and you have about 60 streamers that want to do something, which, by the way, when I do my drop-in day, I will be doing it as a fundraiser. I have to figure out what charity I'm going to do it for. But the idea of a drop-in parties, it's really kind of a variant of a raid train. One of the problems of a raid train is that it's linear. At any given time, only one stream is going. Whereas with the drop-in party, you can have 40 or 50 streamers that, let's say, are trying to raise money for a charity, that all agree that they're going to stream on Saturday. And then they all put their names in, and then they just basically drop in on each other during the day, doing different things together, all, let's say, to raise money for a charity. And then maybe at the end of the day, they all raid one stream to kind of get everybody in one place. I think this is one thing we're going to be talking to a lot of the guilds in terms of the Black Guild and the Latinx Guild, because those are some of the groups that love to collaborate with each other. And a drop-in party is an idea that can help when you have 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 streamers all kind of dropping in on each other and saying, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to hang together, you know, as a group. And so I think that'll be something fun, and we'll probably have a whole week where we encourage folks to be doing this with, you know, some kind of highlight at the end, and where we create promotions for those people doing drop-in parties.
Gotcha. And that means that if you have your drop-in set to favorites, you might want to add Dan as a favorite, just in case.
That is fair.
All right. Well, hey, we had a lot of folks on the show today, and I want to send some thanks to them. So thanks to our boy Mike Minton, thanks to Jeremy Forrester, thanks to Trevor Fisher, and last but not least, thanks to Nocto. Thank you all so much for being on the show. Thank you all for all those raids coming through in chat. We can't read them while I'm doing the show, but thank you for those raids. You guys are wonderful. We appreciate you. One other plug I want to make for y'all is that, hey, did you know TwitchCon San Diego is literally next month, September 20th to 22nd, 2024, of course, and tickets are still available. So, you know, go to twitchcon.com for more info. Get you a ticket if you haven't already. Have a good time. And hey, you know what? Because this is what we do here. We're going to raid somebody. We're about to raid our good friend and ambassador, DJ Knight. So, Dan, again, thank you very much for doing the show with me. Thank you for being here. Chat, thank you for being here. And we'll see y'all next time. Go say hi to DJ for me. Goodbye, and I will see y'all soon. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Thanks, Ray.